Got it.
Yeah. Just we'll hold still for a minute. All right, we are live on Facebook. Hey everybody, I am back with the amazing Helena Reilly, and we are going to talk shop today, all things quantum. We are gearing up for our Quantum Revolution Tour in Vegas, March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of 2019. And as most of you guys know that we're in Miami, Helena and her amazing team were there on site with some big heavy lifting equipment to neutralize and raise the vibration of not only this space, but act as a guide and act as that acceleration that we all really got out of Miami. So I'm so excited to have you back with me here in our community. And really kind of get the party started. We are like on a 3.5 week countdown to Vegas right now. So for the next week, I'm going to be doing lots of different chats and interviews with all of our different basically guest hosts, our collaborators, and our practitioners that are going to be joining us in Vegas. So we wanted to get the ball rolling with Helena. Helena, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. And thank you for having me, Jessica. I have some exciting messages about, So we're going to be focusing as special guests of Jessica. And it's always really fun and exciting to be at these events because Jessica's a very exceptional being, quantum being. So working with Jessica is like opening the doorway to the quantum field, and then playing in the energy. And so many people, run events in a more stagnant way, but Jessica actually creates in the moment. So the event is fully awakening and alive. And the message, we're going to be bringing in 4 miracles, which means 24 coils and 1 Tesla. So we add another 9 coils. And we'll be running those during the entire event. And what I understand at this point is we're inviting you in the context of this incredible happening to unleash your unlimited quantum potential.
That's right.
And what we're going to share with you is at least 3 of our very closely held secrets to accelerate in the quantum field with frequencies. We're also going to do the very first preview of a brand new soundtrack that we're developing for post-traumatic stress.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so if anybody has post-traumatic stress, which is like most of the planet, right, Jessica?
Anybody with a childhood, yes.
Anybody that has a body. So that's going to be our theme, is to support Jessica's whirlwind event with frequencies and quantum or scalar energy.
So let's back up a little bit for those of you guys that are not quantum nerds like us. Why don't you spend just a minute? There's a lot of new people who are joining the tour this time that are just getting to know me, just getting to know this whole big, crazy world that we're living in as far as quantum goes. Can you take us back a little bit? And for those of you who are just kind of new to this, tell us a little bit about what the technology is. And kind of take us back to kind of the kindergarten version of this quantum technology that we're bringing in to accelerate and help us kind of override old programs and old belief systems to move our bodies into spaces of higher consciousness so that we can really accelerate. So in your scientific approach, can you explain to us a little bit about your technology that you are bringing in and a little bit about what you do for those of you who know that?
What we've been doing, it's been a lifelong project, is developing technology that's like a shortcut. It's cracking the code. And we use some simple, modified Tesla coils with thousands of frequencies, both to elevate the environment. So it's like having, like the Teslas at 100,000 meditators. The miracles probably about 25,000 meditators. And so what that does is it impacts the vibe in the environment. So it raises the vibe and sort of cleans up. So there's a lot of gunk that I know a lot of you know about that's sort of stuck in the etheric, it's stuck in your field. And what the scalar technology does is it acts like a cleaning person, cleaning up both your stuff and the stuff in the field, which is why we'll be working on Vegas as well. That's a big job, though. And
that's a big job.
That's an impossible job. Forget that. Cancel that. Well, so
bring in the big guns. Yeah.
We're bringing in. Yeah. So it's, you know, many of you getting this part. It's time to step up now to clean up your act. And so it acts too as a shortcut, doing some of the heavy lifting. And, you know, it's simple stuff. I have one on my desk, a miracle. I don't knock too much. You know, this cylinder, for example, contains 6 coils, LEDs, sacred geometry, and runs 24/7. And the idea is to clean up me and the environment and all of us 24/7. So it's sort of just a shortcut to a very mild emotional detox that goes on beyond your conscious awareness. And the idea with this technology is to actually pinpoint some of the subconscious blocks that I'm sure none of you have anymore because you've all freed yourself.
Yeah, we got no baggage left, right?
Yeah, we're all free. Oh my God, I wish. So yeah, so the thing about frequency and scalar is that it sort of picks it up and disperses it. It releases it beyond our awareness, actually. So the heavy lifting gets done in the scalar field. And what most people just start to feel is sometimes a mild cleanse and then a relief. Like some big heavy weight got removed from the shoulder or something.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, and from my perspective, I've been working with this technology for a while now with Helena, and obviously I have it in my home. I have my travel size, scalar energy that I can take with me. And to me, what it is from like a 4th grade perspective, what this technology is, we are electromagnetic energy, and we are frequency, and we are vibration. And as we have gone through life, that frequency and vibration has kind of altered, and it has dimmed, and it has become in the shadow of what it's capable of. So if you were going to look at, you're going to look at something that was very vibrant and very healthy, and that had a huge energetic effect, a big presence, that would be someone with really healthy frequency and vibration emitting from their whole field. So this whole essence of who we are. And when we, have failures and heartbreaks and traumas and hard times, and we move into limited states of mind, and we get shackled with belief systems of obligation, and we feel trapped, our entire energetic field begins to shrink. And we don't have as much ability to create healthy lives, healthy bodies, healthy relationships, healthy money flows, because we really are creating our reality with this field of energy that we're in, because we are literally like this magnetic field of energy that we are constantly attracting to us what we believe that we are. And over time, life experience, conditioning, social programming, failures, PTSD, these things begin to alter our consciousness into feeling more limited and small and insignificant and unimportant. We feel like burdens. We feel like our voice doesn't matter. We feel like we can't create our realities. And really where all of these ideas are coming from is how our energetic field feels to us. When you're confident and you're carrying your body well and you feel good in your skin, you hold your shoulders back, you walk, and wherever you go, people begin to notice. And it's not necessarily they're looking at this physical body, but they're feeling the presence. And so, what we're doing on this tour is we're biohacking all of that pain and that suffering that we have built up through our life experiences. And we are going through a very important shedding process to move our basically our frequencies back to that base point of who we are as natural creators. Children command a lot of attention. Children command a room. Children command energy without necessarily needing to be deserving or worthy. They just know who they are. And, when a small child walks in the room, no matter who you are, you're going to stop and you're going to participate because of the field that's coming off of that pure energetic soul. And I think where we're coming as a collective right now, energetically, is we're returning back to that original soul song within ourselves, or our original state of frequency. And this technology that we're using is basically a biohack. It's a fast forward. It's like we don't have to count on our fingers anymore. We have calculators, and we are blessed with having this genius technology on the planet that can override years and years and years and years of conditioning, years of social programming, because basically all it is its frequency and vibration. And so if we turned it on, we can turn it off. And we can do that through manually overriding the biological systems. Am I correct, Helena?
Absolutely. That's really well put, actually. And what it is there's a lot of little, from many, many hundreds of lifetimes, in some cases thousands, there's a lot of impediments and blocks that you're really unaware of. And these need to be vibrational shifted so you can be free.
Yeah.
Memories and
yeah, the stuff you don't know that's there. I mean, it's one thing to be able to work on the things that are present in our lives, our relationships, our health. But it's almost like I look at the childhood, the first 7 years of a childhood, as almost like your starting point of all of your karmic energy throughout the universe. So whatever lifetimes are still in karmic unresolved or out of alignment or still lost in density or fractaled from you, those pieces of you are going to remain vibrating, waiting to kind of come back together. And I really believe that we start our childhood as like our starting point of like, okay, this is my mess to clean up from the whole entire universe. And these are my parents who are going to play my perpetrators and my victims to help me navigate through suffering back into awareness and light. And that's the plan, right? That's the plan of the genius consciousness before we embody and go through our deep amnesia experience. And so then we kind of fall into life, and then the body starts to become kind of the navigator, and the ego component becomes the navigator, and the soul kind of has to take a step on the side and wave its white flag or create a car accident or create some sort of conflict to shake us awake. And really what it's about is what I like to think about it is that all we have to do is become powerful intenders again. And when we set an intention, our only job after setting that intention is to show up as who we say we are. But that's easier said than done, you know, or we would all be doing that, right? I mean, we'd all be saying, this is who I am, and I'm unlimited, and I'm unstoppable. And then you walk outside, and then your circumstances are there, you know. It's a scary world. Your bank account's dry, you know, your spouse doesn't love you, your kids are raging crazies, you know, like, and then you're going, okay, maybe I'm not unlimited, right? It's because it's in that perception of our reality is all coming from this kind of holographic universe inside of us that projects what we believe. So we've got to kind of strip those places down. And working with this technology over the last several months with Helena, I'm having it in the Miami tour and just having it in my home. What I've noticed is that when this technology is almost like it's a reminder to my body who I really am. And when I'm in the sync with this technology, I feel the wholeness of myself so that I can remember, I can put myself back together instead of having to do, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of childhood regression or, you know, lots of energy medicine where I can just be like a tuning fork with this technology and be in the resonant point with it and have it manually override my lower dense consciousness so it can elevate me into the theta and the gamma levels, which we'll be talking about, so that I may see and feel and hear my true essence. And it's only when you remember your true essence that you figure out how to navigate with yourself through that potential. If all we know is who we've been, then even though we want new, we'll always create what we were. Am I right?
Absolutely. It's a repetitive pattern. It just keeps running and run. It's so redundant what we've done on Earth. And so, yeah, we just keep doing the same traumas, the same people, different
day.
Yeah. So it's sort of the pattern. The scalar and the frequencies are the pattern interrupt by, so let's say you're vibrating at this level and then all of a sudden you expand, which is what we'll show you how to do with the technology. Mm-hmm. In the context of Jessica's teachings. But absolutely, you change your frequency, you change your life. Your frequency has to match what you desire.
That's
so
right.
If you want to be this amazing luminous being, your frequency with the abundance and happiness, your frequency has to match. The frequency has to occur first.
Right.
It doesn't come to you before that.
Right. And if we don't know what that frequency is because we haven't experienced it, that's like the biggest beef that I feel like the spiritual community has with spirituality is okay, you say I have to be the vibration of abundance in order to create abundance. You say I have to be the vibration of love to create love or have or experience love or receive love. You say I have to be the vibration of freedom to have freedom. Well, I don't know what that feels like because, you know, love equals pain to me as far as my childhood. And, you know, I had broke parents and, you know, I've been sick for 30 years. I don't know what those feelings feel like. So again, those feelings or those frequencies exist in nature. They exist all throughout the universe, but we've conditioned ourselves to be resistant to those things. So there has to be kind of a manual bypassing, which means that the navigator of, you know, I don't want anybody too close to me. I have all these walls around my heart. I want love, but it never comes to me. At some point, we have to bring bigger frequency in that can override the old conditioning. And this frequency is sound. And sound is what makes up everything in the universe. And if you've ever been around a tuning fork or been around your favorite song, you begin to move and sing that music because you're in resonance with it. You're moving into vibration alignment with it. If you've ever walked into a room and you've been in one mood and someone else is in another mood, and then all of a sudden you're altering your mood to be in someone else's mood, you just hit a resonant point with their frequency. So if we can do that with a song and we can do that with a negative person or a positive person, imagine what we can do with this specialized technology that is coming in that reaches a huge radius and puts us all into alignment at one time and brings us all into coherence and brings us into the unity principles so that we can begin as a group to set intentions that are for our biggest, greatest purpose on this planet. And I think where we're going as a collective, and the earth is helping us do this with these the Schumann resonancy shifting and the poles and all the things that are happening. I think what's happening is our bodies are moving from this old outdated model into this super conscious being. But what we have to do to participate in that is we have to let go. We have to surrender. We have to learn to receive. You know, it's like nature's been doing this for thousands of years for us. And what do we do when we don't feel loved or we feel sick? We isolate, we move away from nature, we move away from music, we move away from love. Those are the healing essences of the universe. And I think that's really what makes up this technology. Am I right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the keys is that it works 24/7. So one of the main keys to de-stressing this massive burden that humanity is redundantly repeating is this 24/7 generation of a field that is, as Jessica says, uplifting you, clearing you, cleaning you. And it's a novel concept because most of the technologies in today's world are, you turn them on, you do a 10-minute treatment, and then voila, that's it. You know, for now, that's all you can handle. But this technology was specifically designed so that even when those shadows come, and I think that's a big thing that we're all dealing with right now, the shadow, even you reach these high states and then you crash, and you reach the high state and you crash. So the shadow is what kind of attacks you from within, the memories, the voice from your mother, the fact that somebody told you couldn't do it. You really couldn't play the piano well enough. You didn't deserve to do that. And so whatever those voices are inside of you, the key with this technology and what we'll be sharing is that because it works 24/7, especially in your sleep, you are able to repattern when you're sleeping. As a matter of fact, that's one of the most profound parts of it, is that in exactly 4 years, the brain scientists will make this determination and announcement. We repattern and relearn in deep delta pretty much only. So your cellular repatterning, your healing, your well-being is when you're sleeping. It's strange. Maybe deep meditating. Very few people reach that though. So the thing is that when this works on you 24/7, the idea is that when that shadow sneaks up, when that subconscious attacks you, and some people will go into a 3-week depression, right, Jessica? We see it every day. So they'll go, this keeps working on you. It doesn't stop. You may forget it. You may even hate it, but it just keeps clearing you. And so the idea is we are frequency. We are manifesting. And many of us are manifesting uneven things right now.
Yeah.
We manifest this huge opening, and then there's a sense, I'm observing this. In myself and others, there's a sense sometimes, well, maybe we don't deserve that. Our sense of what we deserve or what we've created up to this point.
Right.
So that part that comes up from the subconscious, often when you're sleeping, is exactly what we're working on, the clean sweep of clearing. And the other thing is the group resonance.
Yeah.
One of the powerful things is because, and this is the secret weapon that we have, the secret, because of the quantum interconnectedness, our quantum entanglement, we work on this together. It's the unlimited potential is in the quantum field. That's just quantum physics. It exists. But when we release these weird, even this conversation, we're talking about stuff we're all carrying because humanity carries it. So when we're talking about releasing this deep stuff and we do it collectively, the group raises, and the group raises much faster than the individual. Trust me, as pioneers, we know, because we've been the ones in the front going, come on, let's do this. But when the group gets behind this, which is the power of meeting together physically in the field and creating a new field of memories. So when we meet together and decide intentionally, we're going to change this, we deserve, we know we are quantum unlimited potential beings. When this happens, it amplifies the results. So what might have happened with you sitting in your living room now becomes 1,000,000 times as powerful. And then there's another secret with the quantum is that every single person that awakens, every single person that raises their vibration now pulls another group. And so it allows a higher potential. So we become quantum entangled instead of in our wounding, we become quantum entangled as empowered, fulfilled, potential beings, right? That can create anything.
And we're seeing that all over the planet. I mean, even our interaction together, it's like what we can do together is much bigger than what I could do by myself, you know, what we can do. And, you know, one of the things that was interesting for me as a scientist, going back to Miami, was our first tour where we introduced this technology, and we introduced a lot of elements that were designed to amplify, clear the body, and accelerate consciousness. And I think we did that. But as a scientist, it's always about perfecting the art of what it really means to activate junk DNA and wake up super consciousness and heal the ego identity and integrate, you know, and all these things. And so as I kind of stood back and looked at what I wanted to do for Vegas, I really realized that I didn't necessarily want it to be a shadow event where everybody came to heal their baggage. I didn't want it to be, you know, because what I noticed in Miami was that there was a lot of people who were coming to accelerate, but really needed to heal. And they were like, I'm coming to get my superhero outfit on. And instead, what it did is it opened up Pandora's box of pain, and all of those shadows of things that they've been kind of suppressing and avoiding and resisting showed up, which I call an uprooting. And it's a beautiful process, because if you uproot, you clear all of that out, and then you do accelerate into higher consciousness. But I think that what I wanted to do this time is I wanted to give them that shadow work before we went to Vegas. So what I did, Helena, and I don't know if you know this, is I created a workshop called Warrior Training. And it was an 8-week pre-Vegas training workshop that was basically designed to dive down deep into those roots, into the dark. Instead of having a dark night of the soul, we actually went into the dark and we started uprooting all of our old programs of being the victim, being the perpetrator, you know, feeling the loss, feeling the grief, feeling the suffering. And we did it on purpose. Instead of it happening to us and getting blindsided like we usually manifest, we decided that we would purposely dive down deep into the shadow, clear all the roots, and empty our cup. Because if we can come to Vegas with an empty cup, can you imagine what this technology is capable of with an empty vessel that is designed to be the essence of pure potential itself and the essence of source energy into a body that doesn't have to go through a spin cycle and a clearing first to receive? So this workshop was designed for us to move into a state of being pre-Vegas of I receive. Because if I don't feel worthy or deserving because I've got old stories running about something I did when I was 15 or what my mom did to me, I'm going to come into Vegas with a shadow. And if I come into Vegas with the shadow, that has to be brought to light, because with higher frequencies, it's enlightenment. So it will lighten you up. And that means it's going to pull all of that density from the bottom of you up. And I don't want to ruin my party in Vegas.
Absolutely.
Because really what Vegas is to me is it's superhero training. And I know that sounds funny, but the thing is the body, at the basic human structure, this body is superhuman. It is a multi-dimensional super quantum biocomputer. It is capable of everything imaginable, meaning it can change forms, it can change its physical structure, it can change down to everything you could imagine. The body has built-in capabilities for advanced change and evolution inside of its basic structure. So if we upgraded that model, just like taking an upgrade from your smartphone every 6 weeks that messes you up for a few days, if we take the upgrade and we started to live through our frontal cortex versus our primal brain, and we started to funnel that energy through the pineal and through the root chakra and through the whole system, through our frontal lobe, we not only would start living so much more of our potential, we would see, feel, hear, taste, and experience worlds that were completely invisible in a lower frequency. So the ability to be clairvoyant, clairaudio, clairsentient, telepathic, right? Using kinetic energy, bypassing the physical form and moving and manipulating time and space is not only possible, it's a built-in basic property of this human form. But just like a muscle, if you've never used it, you don't know it's there. It feels weak when you try to move it, right? So there's Vegas, what we're doing is it's superhero training. So it's not only we're not only bringing in the manual override and bringing in the scalar energy and bringing in the quantum technology, but we're going to practice and run the new program once it actually integrates. So as the gamma moves in and starts to bring our body into resonance with that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing in the field of quantum possibilities, learning how to use our root chakra to manifest reality, learning how to use our pineal and our frontal lobe to become the Imagineer, to really start design worlds that you not only can taste and feel and touch, but step into and live. Because we're in 5D now, so we should be entertaining parallel realities on a daily, you know? And
yes.
we are, but are we allowing ourselves to fully experience what we're capable of? So that's really, to me, what the difference between where we've been and where we're going. And I'm so proud of this group of 100+ people who went through this warrior training with me, because it hasn't been easy to go intentionally into the dark to rescue the light inside of you and move into this space, and then, you know, do whatever you need to do for your families to get to Vegas. I know none of this has been easy, but I promise that it's going to be worth it. So I want to hear a little bit about you and this new Tesla device that you're bringing in, and some of your downloads that you've been getting, because I know that when we talked before we went live, we were pretty much matching up on that, right?
Absolutely. And right before I got on the line, I was told, unleash the quantum potential. So we've had the Tesla device for 10 years, but we just did a relaunch of it, and it is designed. First of all, I really want to congratulate you for the warrior training. That's genius, because so many leaders, they wait until they get people in the space, and then it does become the release of wounding. So preparing them, I think, is preparing all of us. And I think I was in parallel, I just pick it up in the ether, that it prepares you to go into the next phase because you've done the inner work instead of arriving into. So thank you, Jessica. That was very genius. And I think more leaders should take that. So that we don't do so much crying at the event. Just
there was a lot of crying in Miami. I know.
There was a lot of crying. And it was fine. It was great.
Yeah.
We were releasing and having fun.
Yes.
But there was a lot of
This time we're going to be partying and possibly flying.
Possibly flying. Yes. So the Tesla is an interesting, and it's 9 coils, but it's designed to travel the planet in 3 days. So what it's doing is actually awakening people even in the sleep state that are completely unaware of it. And it is basically the foundation of the field of all of these technologies. So every time we add a Tesla, and we just added 6, we have 2 fundraisers, healing centers on the East Coast and the West Coast. They're going to add, they have to raise the funds first. Then we have 4 others, Singapore, Canada, and they're all on the ocean. So it's a really interesting thing that's happening. But what happens is that with the Tesla, it works because it is equal to 100,000 meditators, and it is here to raise, it's actually here to do the clearing invisibly on the entire earth. So but you're hosting a Tesla, and it means that you're actually processing. So like when Jessica was teaching the warrior class, though I wasn't in it. I was actually in my own shadow. I had like pneumonia for 4 weeks after attending this Tony Robbins event where the temperatures were 50 degrees. So my shadow came up. My lifetime with tuberculosis was stimulated.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got to go through the shadow that way. But what I want to say is that Tesla is designed to work globally, but very powerfully in groups. So hopefully we'll get to have it somewhere, because it will create the foundation for everything. At the same time, the joy, because I think what Jessica's saying is let's move into the repatterning and the recreation of ourselves, not just the review of the trauma, but the living in the joy as much as we can during this event. And so the Tesla will be a very strong foundation. It is a very quick clean, meaning it clears things extremely quickly. So it'll be supporting the work of Jessica and the group and the miracles, and also eliminating some of the, what I observe is that some of the incoherence and the beliefs that are so prevalent on earth that are completely illusion. And that's one of the reasons people aren't waking up. When you really, really realize how much you've been lied to, it's like waking up from a really weird dream. You wish it wasn't true. So you have to go through this letting go. And the faster you let go, the happier you'll be. Like, so what? So what? Marriages don't last forever. So what? Everything they taught us in church is completely a made believe. It's like you may as well make up something completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
But it's that facing. And I think the faster we face that, let it go, create the new reality, and just realize that we're here to unlock, and we will be at this event to specifically unlock the quantum potential of this group. So you can live in genius. I mean, you're all brilliant. You all have all of it, and it's all in this causal body. So one thing, my own personal experience with the Tesla is that awakened once that showed up, and Bob had dreams for months and years, where first we created a third of the Tesla, and then we had 3 of those units. We called them rejuvenation cubes, and then we had the coils touching. And we were told that it's a pure particle waveform, and it keeps traveling with this white light that keeps expanding to the point of creating galaxies. So we'll be creating galaxies at the event.
Ooh.
And we were told that anyone exposed to the Tesla field for 3 days, this is relevant, I've completely forgotten this, but their spiritual evolution will be affected for exactly 18 months. So it's going to have an imprint capability and so that's some of the hidden stuff. But the truth is everyone's unlimited. And when we create 100 or 110 people, that change that belief system together, you can change a world.
Right.
And a parallel reality and all the other dimensions that you're living in simultaneously. So,
and hopefully Vegas.
and oh God, Vegas. Vegas is a fun place, but it has
Well, and you know, that's why we chose it, because you know, I truly believe that we're light workers and we shouldn't be chasing the light. We should be going into the darker places on the planet. And I'm not saying Vegas is dark, but what I am saying about Vegas is it holds a lot of different metaphorical and metaphysical imprints about belief systems. And it's just like, if I could create a disease in my body from self-hate, can you imagine what a state or a country could do if they were all in agreement about, you know, the way that life was? And Vegas has this funny kind of story in the vibrational essence of it. When I read Vegas's energy, it is that it is both excitement and devastation, because, you know, people go, this is where I'm going to go get rich. And this is where it's almost like the gold rush, you know, everybody went to the West to get the gold. And here we are in the West where people are still seeking the gold, and all they actually do is they find their greatest shadows. So there's a lot of shadow in Vegas because there's a lot of unfulfilled dreams. There's a lot of lack. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot of tension. And the red rocks that we're going to be bumped up against, they're doing the best that they can to purify and to amplify the energy. But if you understand the density and the chemical resonance of the rock itself, it is also an amplifier, which we're going to be using it for. We're going to be using, just like we used the sand in Miami as an amplifier, we're going to be using the red rocks to amplify this technology. But can you imagine what it was amplifying before? So it's like, it's been amplifying this story, because I have a story in my body that can create my health and my abundance. A state or a province can create the same exact thing. And so the overall health of the Vegas area, that kind of amplifies even all the way out to some of the Southern California points, is pretty much of lack, and it's scarcity, and it's survival culture. And there's a lot of surviving going on. And if you understand the difference between mortal and immortal, one is survival and one is create. And we're going to bring all these creative beings to Vegas to basically interrupt the pattern of the signal that's being projected there, and totally blast it with this beautiful, clean, high vibrational gamma frequency of basically source energy, and just absolute potential for 3 full days. And then we're going to end it with a group unity clearing of one of the particular shadow spots in Vegas as a collective to kind of act out our potential. Because if you understand how programs work, is you can download a program, but unless you run it, it doesn't work. So we've got to download this new essence within you to open you up. We're not giving you anything that you're not. We're just going to help you remember, put yourself back together, so that you can start using your field to create worlds again versus chaos, drama, and destruction. And then while we're there, we're just going to happen to clean up Vegas. So it's a win-win, right?
Absolutely. It sounds and fun, because it's also a place of prosperity, Vegas.
It is.
There's a lot of abundance, food, and just everything is there, talent. Yeah. So it is a place of abundance, and it's a playground. So everything gets played out.
It's you know what? You're right. It's really, Vegas is the perfect marker of duality.
It is.
Because it has its extreme loss and it has its extreme abundance.
Yes.
So you're right.
Beauty, talent, some of the most talented people in the whole world go to Vegas to show their talent. So it's got everything, sort of like a metaphorical playground that's concentrated in one area, with 1 million human dramas being played out every second, all night long. So kind of like a New York City. So, but playground New York City. And so, but I think it is the perfect place because, so many spiritual retreats and so on are, in the mountains in Sedona or there. And It's
safe flight places where the vortexes are.
Yeah, exactly. Why not activate the vortex where the power is, but also where there are some very active shadows playing so that we can see it in ourselves.
Yes.
And it's a little bit more real, kind of more raw. So I think it's very exciting, and there's more potential in many ways to activate and accelerate, to shift
Yes.
ourselves, because a lot of things, I think we'll see a lot of different aspects. And it's the aspect of the red rocks, any of those natural vortexes are places where if you enter them consciously, you can act and you activate that potential, but act it out, actually, you can actually come out of that vortex a transformed being, which I think is our real group intention. That we
Yes.
actually walk out with a new set of who we are, a new frequency of who we are, a new way to be, a new play, a new playlist. And
Yes.
not the same old, redundant. And so it's unleashing, unlocking your quantum potential, which is all contained in every cell, but in a group that's supporting. So I think one of the things I want to say too is what I experienced within the context, and that was it was the second time I'd met Jessica, so it was a great pleasure. And she's a really fun teacher, but Miami, I got to meet, many of the people that work around Jessica and the students, and it's a really supportive community. So when you're passing through this, whatever it is, your light, your darkness, your joy, you're in a supportive environment. The people are so amazing. And I think that's a reflection of Jessica's work. And so all that we're talking about, we're bringing in the best tools that we know of and our best A game, because it's time to step up. The group, the light workers, the healer, whoever you are, it's time to step up. That's the one message.
Absolutely.
The rest is history. Once you do that and show up for yourself, once you show up for yourself and step into your power, the rest is really history, because we have to take risks. Wouldn't you say, Jessica? That's one of the key things. That's going to end.
That's the whole secret of life, is
take a risk.
Yeah. Well, to me, duality is so interesting, because if you're excited about uncertainty, it looks like endless possibilities. And if you're scared about uncertainty, it looks like fear and limits. Mm-hmm. So really what we're doing is we're learning how to see potential in limits, and we're learning how to see, abundance in lack, because like you said, there's always abundance even in the lack. And that's what balances duality. And it's really, obviously I've been saying for years, it's like, time to step up, dress rehearsal's over, guys. Like, we have to start walking our talk. We have
the castle.
Right. From the castle. Like, and 2019 is the unmasking of mankind. So all secrets are going to be revealed as the planet starts to lighten up. The big old light bulb is going to turn on, and what's in the shadows is going to be everything's going to become transparent, including ourselves. And it's just the same way that I ran the warrior training is let's go charge the dark so it doesn't have to attack us. Let's go into there manually. Well, as far as waiting for evolution to happen and smack me in the face so that I know myself, we're going to chase that as well. We're going to be the commander, and we're going to be the warrior of both our shadow side, but also of us becoming the pioneers and the ground runners of this new evolution, because someone's going to need to know how to do things in the new world, right? And if we're all sitting around waiting for everybody to evolve so we can figure out who we are, it could take another 1,000 years because we're sitting there waiting. And I teach in my warrior training that if you're waiting, that's actually a lack vibration. You should always be in a state of preparation and play. And to me, the ultimate biohack of the universe is play. Because when we're in the state of play, we are timeless, we are effortless, we are in the flow, we are in the natural state of vibration, we are actually growing, not dying, we are amplifying, and we are creating. So to me, that looks like a bad word to an adult who has to pay bills and take care of kids. But the art of play is actually what's going to change your entire physical structure long term. So learning how to play in the field of possibilities is really what we're going to be doing in Vegas, and play with the quantum field itself to manipulate time and space, to bend the energy, to get back to the practice of who we were before we got this body. Because we were building worlds before we were building cities, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't agree more with the sense of play, because it's connected to joy, which is the frontal lobe, and creativity and connection. So
Yeah.
when you're in a state of play, you're in a state of connection with yourself
Mm-hmm.
and with others and with the environment and with nature. So it is, we should definitely call them play shops for sure.
Yeah.
And heart storms, but absolutely. And you know, all of this is actually controlled up here. So in a state of creation or co-creation, you are in a state of joy. Like when you're in that zone, the zone with, and we'll do some exercises when we're there to connect with the causal body, but when you're in the zone, you naturally feel a state of bliss and oneness. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and in that state and unlimited possibility, you can really create whatever you need actually in this reality. So,
well, and you stop settling for what is, because, you know, it's like if you walked into a store with $1, you would have to pick something to buy with that $1, which is the mind frame that most people live in. But if you walked in and everything was free, you could have it all. So it's the difference of potential versus limits. And that's really the mindset that I want to shift. So I want to kind of wrap up with giving a little bit of the logistics about the flow of the event, because I know everyone's like, oh, I want to know how the flow is going to go. And the way that Helena and I talked about doing it a little bit different than we did in Miami is we're going to, instead of putting the big heavy frequencies on you in day one, we're going to build your body up slowly so that you can integrate through the first 24 hours, because a lot of you are going to be coming off planes, international flights. You know, you're going to have that energy of just travel around you. You're going to feel unsettled. So once you get to the hotels and you guys get grounded, when you come in on Friday morning, we're going to start you off in relaxation and grounding energies and playful energies to kind of get your bodies feeling safe, sound, grounded, and ready, right? So it's almost like what you would do for a morning class. You wouldn't throw math on a 2-year-old at 8 a.m., right? So we're going to kind of bring in the gentle frequencies and play during that Friday to get your bodies into a state of receiving and accepting and integration. And then we're going to move all the way to the end of the night, and we're going to basically be amping you up. And then we're going to ask you all to go into that deep delta sleep at night, where all of your integration of the first days happens, because everything happens to you while you're at rest. Like your muscles grow, your food digests properly, you get your downloads. Like that's when everything happens, is in the time and space energy. So Friday night, you'll have your integration point. And then Saturday, what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be using the physical body in the field of creation. So we're going to be activating the core root chakras to be able to manifest dense reality faster, which means form. Like manifest all your money, survival, childhood, securities is right in the root. And if that's processing through lack, it's not going to give you anything but a bittersweet life. So we're going to show you how, through core intention training, being in this field of play all weekend, that's teaching and recoding and realigning the body, we're going to be demonstrating all day Saturday. And then Saturday night, we're going to have our superhero ball, where we dress as our true selves, no longer our secret identities, but our real identities, and dance and play and sing and celebrate. Because when we do that, it is the absolute fastest way to integrate everything that you've received, just through a celebration. And Sunday will be when we put your life all together. So you've gotten to play, you've gotten to know, you've gotten to practice, you've got to become Friday and Saturday. And Sunday is when we start mapping out your particular life plan and how that's going to look for you, and what archetype you really are, and what's the best way for you to be of service in this reality for your purpose, and how you can become this version of you in every area of your life. So abundantly, freedom, and relationships, time, health, all of those things. We create a plan for you that you can take home, that you can literally start being in the prepared and preparation and playing of your life. So it'll just be a natural, easy flow that will probably shave off about 20 years of your life of having to do all of this manually, right?
Absolutely. 1,000.
Yeah.
Could be even, yes.
So tell us a little bit about the different frequencies for those of us that are not, which ones will be playing in and what's the purpose?
Oh, well, of course, we will be orchestrating with you, Jessica, in terms of as the group shifts and what's really needed. But some of the key frequencies that we've discovered are to shift people out of the limbic system and into the left frontal lobe, where you can create unlimited potential for yourself. We will, of course, there are gamma frequencies, but we might reserve those, as Jessica said, for maybe Saturday afternoon or morning. We also have soundtracks to develop organs, glands, telomeres, and opening the heart for love. Mm-hmm. The new one that, you know, if the time is right, we might play the post-traumatic stress for people if, you know, if we are dealing with some anxiety or stress. But I do want to say that sometimes the feeling of fear is just excitement as well. Excitement because something new. And so and of course, if we do the group voice analysis, we'll be dealing with the collective consciousness. So where we are now, we're removing with an affirmation. Last year it was yes, which was powerful. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that's very powerful that I've been experimenting with is we have a soundtrack called Shift Your Frequency or Raise Your Vibration, and it's in the PM. But that was given to us as a shortcut from a group of masters, a shortcut so you didn't have to do that week of, or like lifetime, week, month, year of that intensive analysis to shift your frequency. So we might play, I was just receiving that this morning, we might play with that. We were actually told that's so you avoid all that excessive work that you do. So, because in many ways, those shifts can occur spontaneously and instantaneously. Mm-hmm. It especially in the realm of a group context amplified with frequency and correct knowledge. Right. You can just, and so I think we'll orchestrate it according to the group needs. And Jessica, as the producer of the event, the creator of the event, but we have an unlimited capacity actually to shift and alter and to work with the brainwave patterns of both the groups and the individuals. So we'll, you know, and we can change that every 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, but the idea would be to use, we also have pineal activation, so we can work on activating or decalcifying the third eye, because that's the key to your self-power and intuition and correct decision-making. Mm-hmm. And so we're free to play. We can strengthen, open, activate, align the left frontal lobe. So we have unlimited capability. We literally have millions of frequencies.
And the thing I love about scalar energy too is that it knows what to do and where to go. You know, it's not like, you know, the body has to say, okay, these are the problems I'm having. It's like the frequency goes in and says, oh, this needs to be cleared and aligned, and this needs to be repatterned, and this needs to happen. And it is that again, that absolute frequency of knowing. So that it's like it recalibrates everybody on their individual level, and also to the degree of what they're ready and capable of experiencing. You know, it's not like you're going to walk in and everybody's going to have Kundalini explosion and then everybody's going to go crazy. Don't worry, that's not going to happen to you.
We wish.
In there. No, but at the same time, you know, the scalar energy is working with your own super consciousness to direct what is the best probabilities and best potential for your particular reality. So it's like somebody over here may have one activation or one upgrade, and then this person over here might have a different one because you have different soul purposes and different soul paths. and different experiences that you're going to need to experience. And so it's going to be orchestrated through Scalar, which is all knowing and it can pass time and space. It has no borders or boundaries, but at the same time, it's not going to push you more than you are spiritually ready to go. Because again, you are still creator of your reality. That's why we wanted to do the word training, so that you weren't creating negatively anymore, but you are still creating, and the universe works with you in harmony, not against you. And it never pushes you to a place that you're not ready to go. Now it will push you maybe further than you think you're ready to go, but you are ready to go more than you even know you're ready to go. So it's almost like, when you're doing something for the first time and it's scary, but then you're like, oh, I got this. So everybody will be receiving those upgrades and those activations, but it will be through the path of least resistance with your own consciousness. So you don't have to worry about busting into a ball of light yet.
We wish. However, there is one thing yeah, the breakthroughs can occur very subtly as well. So it's not necessarily, it's not dramatic or threatening. It can be a very tiny shift that you need to make.
That's it.
Results in a huge change in your life. And it's so subtle. You may not even, one thing I've noticed with the owners of the technology is that they suddenly become happy. But since that's a natural state, they don't see the difference.
They don't notice that they're happy. Like, what? I'm happy? Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just I'm just actually enjoying things. But so it can be very subtle. We don't mean to say it. The nature of scalar energy, it does go through blocks. It does go through walls. So if you have, let's say you have, some childhood trauma, it could dissolve that while you're just sitting there drinking water. But it's not a dramatic thing, unlike so many other processes.
Yeah.
For example, the one I just went through in West Palm Beach.
Well, let's end talking a little bit about the water, because the quantum water, the quantum cocktails that we brought last time, kept everybody pretty high. So what are you bringing this time?
That's a good question. We're going to bring, actually, we're just deciding that, but we're going to bring some spirit molecule water, which will help to liberate some of the energy, and it's also relaxing and makes you feel happy. But we'll also bring probably bring some super calm. I think it's always a good idea if
nighttime.
For night, yes, and for evening, for coming down from the energy. And I believe that we're going to bring some wellness and some miracle water. And the miracle water is designed to act behind the scenes just to help you to feel better, to experience your own self in a fuller way. So it's related to the miracle technology, and and any other suggestions, because that doesn't include our full lineup. Yeah. So anything you'd like us to bring. But
I would love for Friday, when we're in that kind of learning and downloading and absorbing and reconnecting, I would love maybe even the indigo water, because the indigo water amplifies the quantum ability to focus. So all of us lovely empaths that have ADD, it'll help us focus. It'll hydrate us, because we're going to be in the desert, right?
Yes.
And it'll really keep us grounded. And then for Saturday's integration, we can be high as a kite, because we're going to be in the body and we're going to be playing and we're going to be moving. And so if we can do the spirit module, which is kind of get that natural DMT moving in, so we can get into those ultra states while we're moving in the body, that's going to take us to the next level. And I think if you can bring the calm for the sleeping cycles, and then even maybe the miracle for Sunday, where we move into a state of peace. So we're going to kind of be building you up to this peak all weekend, and then bringing you back down to your base point, so that you don't leave too high and then going back to your old life feels bad. We want to get you into this place where once you get down to a level, you don't only know yourself, you've accepted yourself, you've become yourself, and you have a plan. I want you to leave on Sunday with a plan, a purpose, your secret identity exposed, living as your archetype, walking your walk, talking your talk, sharing your heart, being of service, and never ever having to look back about that first part of your life that was not directed or orchestrated by you. This next chapter is all about your direction, your editing, you're the actor, you're the star, and you're going to win that Academy Award for, you know, best actress, actor in a leading role of your own life, right?
Oh.
And getting to edit and design it as you go versus being stuck with one storyline, right? Because a lot of us have one storyline that we just keep playing out, and it's time for that to change because we really are unlimited. So I think this has been awesome, Helena. Thank you so much. I could just spend 12, 13, 14 hours talking to you about all this. We're such friends, but
we do on the other planes.
We do all the time.
We
all
do.
the time.
We're always aligned, and we really look forward to being there with you.
Yes. Yes, I can't wait to see Ian again. He's a genius. He's the mastermind.
Amazing.
He's literally the DJ. We have a DJ coming to do this, the music and the videos, but Ian is the frequency DJ. He is literally watching the crowd, changing the frequencies based on what is needed and wanted in the space to alter and bring in new awareness. So we're so happy to have him back as well. So
yes.
Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in a few weeks. And if you guys have any questions for me or Helena, you can always actually ask them in the comment section of this live video, and her and I will do our best to get back to you either in a group question and answer or directly. So feel free to ask Helena any questions that you have about her technology. You can also get with me about that because we are also partnered up with that. And I'm learning all about it as we go. I'm literally learning by experiencing. That's how I learn. So to me, I'm not like a book smart person. I'm a be in the stuff of it smart. You know, it's like being in it. That's how I learn. And I've been able to work with this technology for months now. And it's been absolutely life-changing. Just about the capabilities that I've been able to break through just since Miami. Just since Miami, I've had huge shifts. So, and that's when I got my hands on my first miracle. So you guys will get to have 3 days of being heaven on earth and playing with us and partying with us. And we cannot wait to see you all there. So we'll see you soon. And let us know if you guys have any questions. I will also be posting lots more live itinerary feeds about what to bring, how to show up, where to go. So don't worry, all those questions will be answered over the next couple of weeks in video chats and written itineraries on the website, in your warrior groups, and in your emails. Okay, so stay tuned, and we will see you guys all in Vegas.
See you soon.
All right.
Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Bye.